We are going to begin with this panel discussion about a topic that I love. It's about higher values in the Web3. So that's very interesting. And for that we have Lucas from Noobizes, and we have Christian from Atlanticus, and we have Benoit from GoodHive, and he's the organizer of this great event that we have today. So that's so nice. Welcome, guys. How are you? Fine? Yeah. Take the mic. Just take the mic.
Fine.
Yeah?
Is it working? Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes? Okay. Let's go. I suggest that we begin with a quick presentation of each one. It's more easy than to talk together, so in this order, okay. Naturally.
So, hello all, I'm Lucas. I'm working on Noobizes, which is an e-sport platform, and we try to bring higher values for players. And also, I'm developer on My Neighbor Alice. Maybe someone knows, and working for Chromia as a Solidity developer.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. My name is Christian. I worked for 15 years in the media industries, and more than 1 year ago I came in love with NFT and entertainment, and I've been on the lookout for new project, new adventures. And I bumped into friends that were setting up a new company in NFT and music. And I say, well, this looks like fun. And so we embarked in this adventure like less than 1 year ago, setting up Atlanticus Music, which is basically a marketplace for NFT, for music NFTs. I can develop a little bit later on that, but as an intro.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, hi everybody, I'm Benoit Kulesza. I'm the founder of GoodHive. GoodHive is a collaborative and decentralized matching protocol for IT talent of the Web3. I had a previous career into the sharing economy, which led me to the Web3. I love at that time to discover Jeremy Rifkin, who is a great talker about the sharing economy, who made me believe that we can change the world together and for the better, both to make the world more fair and also more like sustainable. And thanks to the Web3, we can make it in a scale that has never been reached, and with so many new possibilities that I feel like we are living an extraordinary period of humankind where we really can make a difference and change the world.
Thank you all guys for your presentation. We are going to begin with something simple. Is there someone here in the public that can tell me the 3 core values of Bitcoin, because everything has begun with it? 3 values. No? No one? The 3 core values? Yes?
Decentralization.
Decentralization, yeah. Transparency. Yeah. Security, yes. Yes. This is decentralization, scalability, and security. But transparency is also one, yeah? There is a lot of others. So we will begin just with this. What's your favorite? Just pick one, please, to begin. Your favorite, and if you can make a link with your project, it's nice. And then we will, I think, naturally discuss about this.
Okay, so I think that more for newbies, what it's the greatest value regarding the value about Bitcoin, it's security, and or else transparency, and I go with as a 4 value, I think. And why security? Because what we try to achieve is to be like a game oracle, and to make a more secure esport domain and a truthful environment, so every player could play safely and don't be don't have problem with some declarative things or others like in the past on some esport platform.
Okay, so for you, security first. Okay.
Do you feel in gaming there was security was at stake, or what?
I think for us, when I speak about security, it's less about cheat, but it's more about how we use the data that is coming from the game directly and stored on blockchains then. So nobody could lie, and you don't end with some moderation or something like that, like all other platforms today.
It's kind of like ownership of your own data in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that's a major difference with Web2. So,
Yeah,
no.
definitely.
So that's your turn.
Yeah, so you ask us to take one value, and
Yeah,
I
to
have
begin,
like
yeah.
a small gimmick, so I want to use it, so that will be 3 values. But I think there's a great framework that, especially that we have in France, since we have liberté, égalité, fraternité. And I think it applies quite well. I mean, if you consider it to the Web3, I mean, those are like the same framework, but applied with thanks to that great technologies. And so liberté would be like this incredible new freedom that we gain from Web3, which is owning your own stuff. Be it your identity, be it your digital assets, maybe in a coming future also owning your own stuff through the certificate of ownership in the blockchain. So that would be one. The second is a bit far-fetched, I have to admit, but let's say that égalité is, you've got all this philosophy between DAO, between like decentralized, between let's set up our own rules, so like everybody stands on a similar path. On some extent, it's not true, because like the biggest miners have a bigger word to say on how Ethereum, for instance, is going to evolve. But I think there's this kind of anarchist mindset that is going on, and that everybody should be on the same footing, which is very interesting. And the third one was fraternité, and that would be like all what we say around community, is that if you're not building this, and this is like at the very essence of the blockchain. I mean, it's built because of the community that is participating in the stuff. So, well, we made it like 220 years ago around the French Revolution, but I think it still very well applies to Web3 as like core values.
Thank you. That's an interesting point of view. I've never thought about this. Yeah. Your turn.
Yeah, I found it interesting that you're talking about the French Revolution, because yeah, I believe that in France there is a kind of tradition of changing the way we're thinking. So it should be a natural land for transforming the society and to really to embrace the revolution that represents the Web3. So in terms of value, I would say that the first thing that is more like the technical aspect of the blockchain, and which gives the first value of the blockchain, is trust, because it's completely secured. It's the most secured IT infrastructure that we ever made. So it enables the new organization to avoid to have any third party, since there is trust embedded into the technology. And from this, there is a lot of other values that I suppose that we are going to talk more, that are derived from that security aspect, and the fact that it's transparent. So it pushes everybody to be transparent, and yeah, to know that the action will be seen by the other. So it will push people to be more fair, in my view.
Yeah, that's interesting, because you said trust, and for me, Bitcoin is trustless, for example, because we are always talking about paradoxes when we talk about values in Web3. For example, transparency, but we want to be to have the possibility to don't give your information. So there is something like anonymous things, but we talk about transparency. We have also equality, but we want that the people that are working more have more money, for example. There is a lot of things like that. So how do you deal? I will do that in another sense. So, like, for example, do you have one paradox that is doing for you something like a problem when you talk about this, and how do you solve it in your conception of Web3?
I could speak more about Noobizes, like what we want to achieve. It's really to put e-sport on blockchain. So we have to know the result of game, and to do that, we should take those data and put it in a smart contract or something like that. But if you do that, you will have to make many calls, and it will be really expensive. So we have to do something more centralized that will process the score and then store it on blockchain. So we want decentralization, but we have centralized it. How we can do it so it's better for everyone, it's to make it open source. It's our only solution right
so
now.
you have one solution for your paradox. It's very good.
When it comes to, paradoxes that you mentioned, I think we're all full of paradox. I think we can talk for hours. You mentioned transparency, but indeed, you don't know who's behind the wallet. So, in a way, you could transparent for wallet ownership, but you're not in this. And there's another core value, and I think everybody that works in tech has a say on this, is like we want it to be inclusive. We want it to be accessible to the biggest audience possible. And yet, when you're asking people if they know crypto, how hard is it? I mean, the other day we did a test, and just if you want to plug your MetaMask in your Chrome browser with the extension, there's 25 steps to be made. I'm not saying 25 clicks, but 25 steps. So basically that would be like 50 clicks. So if you're trying to onboard someone to the Web3 technologies and you have like 50 clicks, then you're losing everybody. I mean, you're just having the most motivated individuals or the one that already know about this. So if you want it to be inclusive, then you have to lower the bar. So, for instance, on Atlanticus, we had this issue because first we dropped with famous artists and we wanted to onboard their fan base. And then you realized, well, shit, there's only like 5% of the fan base that is actually aware of crypto and that is familiar with this. So, okay, let's reverse this. So, how can we lower the bar? So, we're going to do fiat payment. So, basically, you're like breaking the rules of using blockchain currencies. You're doing wallet custody of wallets, which is, again, something you were supposed to be against. And we are using a different blockchain because we think that gas fees on Ethereum are just, how do you call this in English? A love killer. I mean, if you're a newbie to this and you want to buy, like the other day, there was an NFT from Booba, the rap singer, and it was sold around, I think, 70 or 80 euros. And the gas fees, there was a gas war at that time, so you were paying like 3 times that amount. So if you're a newbie, you're a fan of Booba, there's no way you're going to buy 300 euros, sorry, for this. And so we decided to use a different protocol. Maybe it was not the right protocol to use, but we're on Binance, which is centralized. Oh, fuck. Here again, I'm breaking my principle. So at the end, it depends. I mean, that's what's interesting about paradoxes, that you have to make some choice at the end of the day. But you can like try to accommodate and say, well, I'm going to start to do this, and then later I will give freedom to people. So that's one promise. But you never know if you're going to fulfill it or you just let it go that way. So I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. And for you, what's your main paradox?
It's hard to answer the question.
You don't have one, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't really
you're
have one.
a
but
hero.
I was thinking about if there is a paradox or something. I was thinking about the bet, the initial bet of the cryptocurrency on the Bitcoin. The idea was that if the central bank are not governed well, that means we need to create something that is not governed by any politicians. It's just an algorithm that creates the value and keeps the value of the Bitcoin or the emission of the Bitcoin. And it's a bit paradoxal because that means that if dollars, or let's say the dollars go down, then that means everything will go down, and the Bitcoin as well. If dollars stay a normal currency, I mean, if it keep its role in the world as of today, then the Bitcoin will rise again and will rise still a lot. So in this way, there's a paradox, but it's not really about values. It's more about the yeah. That's what I was thinking.
For me,
now.
it's totally in because like we are dealing with values and just we pick we choose. We have to choose. So what I want to know now, it's like because you have a solution, you have choose. I've began asking you only one your favorite, but now we can just talk about the values of your project, like the system of values, in fact, that you've chosen, and why. And yeah, because I think maybe this is how you can build your project.
So, as I said to begin, we chose security because we want a trustful environment for players. We also have the social value because gaming, it's about play with your friend and play with others. So, definitely social. We have also sharing value because what we try to achieve is that if our platform take value from player with fee or something like that, we definitely need to take those fees and bring back value to people that are giving value to us. And for the last, the equity, which is a bit different from equality, I think. And what we try to achieve is that amateur player could have a big cash prize, no matter their level or something like that. And maybe one day, same cash price as professional player.
The value I would put forward for Atlanticus music is digital scarcity. I mean, that's what really fascinated me when I came into Web3 and blockchain, is that there was a total disruption with the digital society and the way that artists are making a living. And from and you were mentioning sharing economy at the beginning, but this was a false promise. At the end, you get very centralized, like Facebook social networks. I mean, all the value is basically created within those organizations, and its value is you. And in another way, we also talked about Spotify and the way it's going to help artists, but at the end, and that's why we built Atlanticus, is that the artists are being robbed. I mean, they have to make 10 millions of streams per month to start earning, to make a living. So basically, streaming is not helping the artist, except if you're like in the top 100. And basically, we thought that with NFTs, there was something really interesting to be made, especially on this digital scarcity, where you can like bring back value to the creation and to the art pieces that artists were creating. And yeah, basically that's how we built Atlanticus, saying, well, there's additional revenues to be made for artists with their core fans, like the true fans, the collectors around those artists. And everybody has like millions of followers on social networks or listeners on Spotify or Deezer or YouTube, but only a fraction of that, of those people are ready to go further because they have an emotional connection with the artist, and they're ready. I mean, those are already the ones that are buying merchandising or buying like golden tickets for a concert, and we say, well, maybe they're ready to go further also using NFTs, and that's how we built Atlanticus. So it's a bit counterintuitive because a few years ago we would say like, okay, ownership is dead. Let's rent everything, and you're renting your music every month. But basically we say, well, okay, but by doing this, we broke the business model of those artists, and they're not making a living out of this. So if renting means not benefiting the artist, then something is broken. So I'm not saying that NFTs are going to replace streaming, but we say that there's value to be created for the artist by linking to their like first circle, this hardcore fans that they have.
Okay, so at GoodHive, what we're doing is a kind of new platform like Upwork, but it's a platform based on sharing economy and Web3. So instead of getting the commission for a centralized entity, the commission that is paid by the client to get matched with the right talent is completely redeemed to the talent. And that's a way to promote for us excellence. So because the talent get rewarded with the protocol fee, with the commission, only if they provide excellence to the client. And it also provides some kind of a commitment because both goes together in our mind. And as we are using a decentralized escrow in the middle of the solution, it brings the fact that talents are working for trusted clients, because the clients already provision the amount of the mission in the decentralized escrow at the beginning of the mission. So that means that talents will be trustable whatever happens, since the money is already there. So this is the embedded value in the project is to create excellence, commitment, and trust. But it also provides fairness, because we believe that when you receive the amount of the protocol fee, you receive it because you have been excellent. So this is fair. If you haven't been excellent, if you have provided some bad work to your client, then that money is given back to the community, and the community will invest it into some training sessions, into some event management, or whatever they want, but to promote best practice within the community and to promote the growth in skills of the community. So that's how we see the thing being fair. And that's truly changing. It's a really new business model that is really enabled thanks to Web3, because the centralized entities that create the protocol itself is not doing it to get some reward in terms of commission or anything. In fact, they're doing it for free, or they're making a bet on the value of a possible token in the future. But it's a completely new business model that are enabled thanks to the cryptos. And that's really, really interesting in this way.
That's funny, because I've asked you three to say finally your value system, and in fact you have the three something in common. I'm gonna make a wordplay. Value of value is changing, because in fact you have new business model, so a new distribution of the value, and it's the way you find a solution to promote new higher values. So that's funny. I don't know if it's funny exactly, but for me it was funny to listen to it. Yes, I think maybe you have a comment about that. That finally it's new tools, Web3's new tools to change the game of the value that was always like in a pyramidal thing, like also with a hierarchy. I can't pronounce that, but you understand. And like that, like that, it's different now. It's not. I can't say it's horizontal, but there is something new. Like the users can have value, the new business models and everything. So if you have a comment, because
from what I've seen through those years on bull or bear market or something like that, we are a bit changing the way of doing project. I think that in the past, most of the people are doing like a pitch deck and goes for funding and something like that, and after that do some advertising and create the community. No, we are more creating the community first, from what I see.
yeah.
On my end, that would be the privilege of having lived several tech revolution, and every time you have this huge promise about like, this time is going to be different. This time is power to the people, and we're going to create a more horizontal world. There's a quote from Churchill I like, which is, I think happiness is going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. And I think this is also the case this time with Web3. I mean, this whole set of really nice values, and you want to believe it, and you want to have something decentralized without like mean governments in the middle or any private actors that are taking the bulk of the values, of the value. And so let's and I think this is the recipe is like believe in it and try to build it, and reinventing a little bit the way you frame a company, because we're obviously all three setting up private companies, but also how can you make the community part of this and not like rapture the whole value of this.
Yeah, I think that the horizontality is really a key change in the way we are organizing ourselves, thanks to the decentralization. It's happening today in DAO, in more and more companies who are starting a decentralization of the governance. And it will spread more and more, even to the state, and it will concern the world democracy. I hope so. In the next few decades, I don't know. We have to experiment on this because it's not easy to govern horizontally. That means we need to. There is some test to learn to be able to take the right decision when it's completely horizontal. But I truly believe that that's the future of humankind, and there's a lot of very interesting kind of organization to create doing so, and so decentralizing the world and also the politics in the future.
You've said hope. This is also a value. Don't you think like that there is other values that are not like in the blockchain, but that are consequences of how humans take these tools? Like you told just before that there is more people making their own companies. For example, it can be like I don't know, like to dare. It's a new value to be your own, your own employee. it seems that there is something like that also about liberalism or those kind of thing that is like diffusing on all this sector.
I think that blockchain come with value, and it gives you the key to just unlock other values. Because, for example, we could have choose to just don't give back fee to the community if we want, and just don't share. That's not something that it's on blockchain. Like blockchain
this is not
about
one
sharing.
of yeah.
Blockchain just about transfer data, and we choose to add those sharing because I think that we see a technological change, but also some societal change. We want to be more involved in project. We want to have word to tell to project and to work with the community. For example, with Noobizes, we try to ask most of the time when we can what the community is thinking about what we will do. But we can just don't do it if we want. We choose it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Don't you think that there is value in it? Maybe it's because of collective intelligence or those kind of things.
I think this is value that are also a bit coming from blockchain, because in blockchain, when we talk about decentralization, you want everyone in. So if we want Bitcoin to be decentralized really, everybody needs to have Bitcoin, and don't be you don't want to have one whale that have all the liquidity or something like that, like for the euros or the dollars.
We have to wrap it up, I think. I think blockchain doesn't carry its own value. It's what, I mean, just to quote a famous advertising, is what you make out of this. And for instance, the way we apply, I mean, is a toolbox. I mean, there's many possibilities and many other things to be invented. And when you look at the creativity of layer 2 or even protocols, they're like always adding new layers and new stuff that are enabling new stuff to be done. For instance, on our side for Atlanticus Music, digital scarcity is one thing that can be made out Ethereum and the ERC 721. And so that was something, just a toolbox. And so you can therefore assume that you have some digital scarcity. The smart contract, the fact that you can code certain function in it, and for instance, royalties is something that is a game changer. It's also the way that you use the fact that you can program those smart contracts in Advent that is really interesting. And also all the things that you can link to an NFT, which are not basically part of the NFT, but are like, it's token, so you can get access to certain contents because you have the ownership of this token. So there's plenty of usage that I think that are can be invented, and that you can invent relating to your principle, but that they're not made in the blockchain per se. I would say.
Mia, I would like to conclude on the fact that the communities of, especially the Ethereum community or the blockchain enthusiasts, every time we do some big event within the blockchain environment, I'm really, truly amazed by the enthusiasm, the friendship, and the values that I can see among people. They love to collaborate. There is a lot of idealist people. They want to save the world. And I believe that this is the root of the new system, the cryptos, the crypto economy. And the root is sane. I mean, the root is good because people doing it are, I believe, I can feel it from my emotions, that they are building something good. Of course, there's some scams. Of course, there's a lot of stuff. But the root of it, the true believers, the developers of the community from Ethereum and Bitcoin and the beginners, I love them, and I believe that from that there will be it's a good seed for the future.
Thank you guys. Yes, I think having fun is also one value of Web3, and so I think we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna do practice now. Yes. If you want to make a conclusion, you can, but I think we're done now. I want to go to party.
Just
please.
to say that, say no to CBDC and decentralize it, please.
Yeah, just get one ledger, please, or another cold wallet.